Hey everyone, and welcome to our fifth and final live of our month, Fixed and Growth Mindsets. I'm joined today by the amazing Adele and the absolutely wonderful Ronak. I'll let them say hello before we kick off today's session.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today.
Hello, hi everyone. We really appreciate you are here with us, and let's see what we can take out from today's session in our journey in growth. Yeah.
Fantastic. So today is focused on a Q&A. So this is where we answer your questions on anything on fixed and growth mindsets. So you may have seen the 4 previous lives that we've had from myself, from Adele, from Ishpreet, from Prashani. So any questions that you have on anything that we've covered on growth and fixed mindset, this is your space. Any of the stuff that we've posted in the community, you can also ask questions about that. And we're going to have a little bit of a discussion about fixed and growth mindset today amongst us. So first of all, I just want to know, if you're tuned in, what have you learned this month on growth mindsets? We'd love you to hear what you've learned with us. I don't know if Adele or Ron, if there's anything you want to share that's really key for you with growth mindsets before we jump into some content.
Paul, I would say, if you're in a fixed mindset, you're going to avoid your challenges. With a growth mindset, you're basically going to seek those challenges. For me, that is important, and bringing that to slipping back into a fixed mindset is to have that awareness. I've written quite a few points down on that. With fixed mindset, you're going to feel threatened. You're going to have some fear. And if you're in that growth mindset, you won't have that. You will be looking, as I said, you'll look for the challenges, you'll put effort in and build new abilities. That was for me what I've taken away from it. Just a little bit, but there was so much that we've taken away from it.
That's fantastic. Ronak, what's your key points for people on growth mindset when you talk about this topic?
Before I started with the growth mindset, because now Adele, she mentioned a fixed mindset. I tried my best when I explained the fixed mindset to refer it as negative mindset. The reason why, when last year when I designed a course, growth mindset for children, and I was when there is a stage where if we want to adapt a growth mindset, adapt a good habit, replace a bad habit with a good habit, or learn a specific knowledge for us to kind of help us to excel and develop. We need to fix this a new habit or a new things that we learned. And there were steps to do that. So while I was explaining to the kids how we do that, my daughter, Hannah, she said, Mommy, before you explain that fixed mindset, it's a negative thing. And now you're telling us how to fix those good habits or the things that we learn. So I'm confused. So I started actually from then. I started to pay attention on the word I'm using. It's true that, as Carol, the professor who made that book about, growth mindset, and she clearly put a fixed mindset and explained what is a fixed mindset and the growth mindset, which is the positive side. So since then, I started to pay attention on each word I'm using, and it has within the growth mindset anyway, it's all about words, the words that we are using with others, the words that we are actually receiving. All these words will kind of form the belief, whether that belief is a positive or negative, whether it will be help us and develop a positive I would say growth mindset, or fixed or negative mindset. So if we are conscious about what we are receiving, what podcasts we are listening to, what people, what we are, who are we are surrounding with, are they positive people? Are they people who always put us down? we need to be really, really careful and be selective and conscious about what we are receiving. That will help us a lot, actually, not to slip back in, in a fixed or old bad habit that doesn't actually serve us in any way. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that sometimes we say things or words. It depends how others receive it. I just wanted, to share this bit. Yeah, how we understand the fixed. I know fixed is we receive it as a negative. It is as it's described as negative, but sometimes we need it to fix a good habits, knowledge that we need to use for later on. And there are actually steps how to, how to implement those good habits and how we stick to them. So, yeah.
I agree with that. I think it's so important for us to first understand what that fixed mindset is, definitely, before we can even start to explore or grow from there. And I really liked your point on the kind of environment that, not the physical environment, and that's important too, but the people that we listen to, that we surround ourselves with. So yeah, that really can have an impact on us. I really resonate with everything you're saying there, Rona. That's absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go through some of the comments. So we've got people tuned in. So Priya's tuned in, Shannon Thompson's here, Paula Adams is here, Paula and they're saying hello, good morning. Priya has said what she's learned is adapting to change when things are thrown or confront us. It's absolutely fantastic, Priya. And also, Paula has shared what I learned looking back and spending some time alone with myself is I am more put together than I ever thought. I guess I learned to trust myself more. How wonderful is that? It's absolutely fantastic, Paula. Thank you so much for sharing that. So just while we're waiting, if you've got any questions, if there's anything you want to share on anything that we're saying, please feel free to drop it in the comments box. But I just want to open up a question for you guys, just for us to explore today. And it's one of the things I see a lot when we start to talk about growth mindset, is sometimes we can confuse faith and having faith or trust in the universe or trust in ourselves with a growth mindset. So I just want to ask you today, just how would you explain the difference between faith and the difference between having a growth mindset? Who would like to go first?
I'll go on that one. I've seen it's like a image that people put out on Facebook where you have the branch with a bird on it, and the bird has got the complete faith that if the branch breaks, it has its wings to fly away. To me, that resembles a fixed mindset, because that bird will always be stuck on that branch until it breaks. If the bird had a growth mindset, it would have used its wings, fly away, go explore, go learn, and evolve, rather than just sitting, waiting for the branch to break beneath it. That's how I analyze it. That's the analogy I use.
That's a beautiful analogy. It's a good way of painting that picture and really kind of having that image in your mind of the difference between growth mindset and faith. I really like that. Fantastic. Ronak, is there anything you want to add? How would you explain the difference between faith and the growth mindset?
Well, if we look at the faith itself, the meaning of faith, what it means, it can mean like strong belief in something, whether a person or something. I can have a strong faith on you guys. I have strong faith on the scientists who are developing the COVID-19 the vaccine. I have faith in many things around me, in people, in teachers, and doctors, or God. If I have faith in God, even I know faith can be described as you have a strong belief in something that's not proved. But in fact, actually, we use belief in our daily with people, with us, with ourselves. If I have faith, strong belief in myself, will make me succeed in certain things, which is part of growth mindset. It's actually empowering. It's how you understand faith, and how do you It's from our understanding of something, the concept of something, we can later use it in a way either serve us or fail us. So if we take faith as absolute belief in a power that's beyond us, that help us when we are in the dark side, when we are especially nowadays, we have a lot of things going on around us. We see pollution everywhere. We see people, countries are apart, fractured. We are actually living in a fractured world, fractured families, societies, countries. All of them are really there is a loss, and the result of it's because we didn't understand our rules. We didn't understand what is faith, what is why we are here. What obviously we are part of this fractured world. We made this pollution, we made all this mess, okay? And now we can have this choice. We have a choice. Do we want to continue with this? Do we want to adapt to this mentality or mindset? Is it serving us? Or we pause and we think, no, this is not serving us. We need to basically restore or try to kind of correct this thing, at least if we have a kind of a balance. So the way I understand faith and growth mindset, faith is, for me personally, it's empowering. When I was very, very close from death, when you are that close from death and you see it, you don't know whether any minutes you can, your life will be ended. You see blood everywhere. You see destruction. You see chaos. Okay, absolutely chaos. But if you have the faith within you, that everything, you will be fine. Even if you die, you'll be fine because you are in a space that much better than this world. This belief, this strong belief, and this faith, who actually empowered me. This is in personal level. This is how I understand faith and how I apply it in daily basis. But yes, I can't compare it because it all depends how you understand faith. Yeah, this is my feedback.
No, thank you for such a deep and detailed answer there. And I can definitely resonate that faith within us, with everything around us, is very empowering and very strong force. And I think going back to Adele's analogy and kind of what I'm hearing from both of what you mentioned there, so faith is kind of the start, it's the strength to a growth mindset. But when we look at the branch analogy and the bird on the branch, is faith is having trust in ourselves and everything around us. It's believing, that everything's going to be okay. We've got this. It's very empowering. But the growth mindset part comes in when we start to realize that we can take action. So, like the bird on the branch, they have faith in the branch that the branch isn't going to snap. It's got faith in its wings, but maybe that branch isn't exactly where that bird needs to be right now. Yeah. And it actually, if it was in a growth mindset, then it can fly away and it can find what it wants and use its wings without waiting for that branch to snap. So I think I think Yonak, you mentioned it, it's balance. So I think too much faith or too much belief can stop us from taking action or moving forward, and can actually put us in a bit of a fixed mindset at times. But it's all about that balance. And when we explore, we move away from faith and we look at fixed and growth mindset. Fixed mindset generally comes from reacting, where a growth mindset is taking that time to observe and come from a place of acting. So we have that faith and that belief. So I just want to add that a little bit in on my kind of reflections on growth and fixed mindset. I don't know if there's anything you want to tell
Paul, how I see it is you can have that faith and you need that faith because that's going to support you, motivate you and strengthen you. But you must realize with that, you can't sit back. You need to put the action, you need to put a deed to it in order to move forward and grow. That to me is also an important aspect.
No, definitely. We've had loads of good stuff coming through. So Shannon's just come in and said things will always change in life and we don't want to be stuck in a fixed mindset. We'll always want to grow from all experiences. that sounds like someone who is in a growth mindset right now and wanting to learn and grow. So thank you so much for sharing that, Sharon. That's wonderful. Paula's given some great tips here as well. So Paula said, everything really is inside us. And being here makes it easy to grow. So I surrounded myself with people who helped me grow. You're a bit of a poet there, Paula, as well. Had a nice rhyme to that there. I don't know if anybody else picked that up. And Ronak, I'm sure you resonate with this. She's resonating with what you're saying there. About surround yourself with positive people.
Can I just add something with Paula? I resonate. What she said is so true. The more we discover ourselves and the more we explore ourselves, the more we are getting clearer towards what we want, what ignites us, what we want to do, basically. And that thing, when we know ourselves, that will expand the beauty and the things that we see, we relate to. And the more we expand ourselves, that will help us. And it's like become, when you taste a chocolate, the taste of chocolate, it's give you that sensation. It's nice. Or when you are on top of the hill or a big mountain, that sensation and the beauty you discover, you see, you wanted to continue. You wanted to go back to the same kind of feeling that, oh, actually, I enjoy that very much. I want to go and have the sensation. It's like addictive way of you craving something that is there. So that itself prevents you and help you not to slip back to the old thing, because you are going to the direction of you are expanding bit by bit. You discovering more of yourself. You are in alignment more with yourself. So I'm with Paula. I agree 100%. If you really you start everything you said from inside, and also that will help us to grow, and also surrounded by the people that help us to grow. So I resonate and I agree with Paula. Thank you very much for this.
It's fantastic. Thank you, Ronak. Shannon, I'm sure you resonate with this, Adele. So Shannon says that faith is a belief tool that I use, and growth is for her to flourish. Just kind of going back on what you were saying there earlier, Adele.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, and thank you for Shannon for sharing that with us. It makes perfect sense.
Fantastic. And then Shannon says, yes, Paul, faith is belief. Growth mindset is about taking action. I'm glad that you resonate with that, Shannon. Thank you so much. Okay, and Rosie Priya has said that you've beautifully explained that, Ronak, so you've explained that beautifully to Priya.
Thank you, Priya.
Fantastic. So we are covering, you kind of talked about a little bit, Ronak, the next kind of thing I want to bring up in today's session, and that is being conscious and cautious that we don't fall back into, sorry, can you guys hear the beep as it comes through? Or is that just in my ear? I think that's just in my ear. I'm not getting distracted. Sorry. No, because I've got the community open in the background. There's comments coming through, and it's pinging the notifications. But it's a good job that you can't hear it. So yeah, it's just being cautious, conscious that we don't slip back into a fixed mindset. And one of the questions I asked myself, and I pitched it in the live that I did on Fixed and Growth Mindset 2, that got me thinking and reflecting on this is, the moment we tell ourselves that we're in a growth mindset, do we slip back into a fixed mindset? So it's just something I was thinking about.
Well, I can resonate with that, because as soon as you say to yourself, I've done this before, I know it all, you're already stuck, because then you limit yourself. You're not going to open yourself up to go out and learn more and do more research. Whatever you are busy dealing with, you say, okay, I know it all. I don't need to go any further. So you're ready, or immediately put yourself into a fixed mindset.
can resonate with that. Ronak is
Okay. Okay. I explain it the way I understand fixed and growth mindsets and how we avoid to slip back to the fixed mindset. It's not like black and white. It's not like this is a growth mindset and this is fixed mindset. There is also area in between, and most people actually in the area in between. And the exercise, even the exercise when I do it, to know whether people are which category are they in, the category of really like growth mindset and they are flourishing and they are moving and they are moving fast and in that peak, or they are in the middle, in between, or they are in the fixed mindset. So there is an area, the gray area, and most people are actually in the gray area. And there is an exercise. I don't know if you want me to share it with you. I have it. It's in my, also it's part of the things that I designed. If you want, I can share it with you. Do you want?
yeah,
Yes?
that'd be perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Then, okay, prepare a black pen and paper. Maybe people will. Okay, I'll show you. So on a scale 1 to 5, 1 is you don't agree, and 5 you strongly agree. So it's 5 a question. Okay, the first question, you generally say negative things about yourself from 1 to 5. Then second question, you have a hard time finding positive things in most situations. Again, mark yourself 1 to 5. The third question, you think your currently lifestyle will limit your success. The fourth question, there is nothing exciting to look forward to in the future. The last, you believe you can't really change how intelligent you are. Those 5 questions. So if you score between 5 to 10, you have a fairly positive mindset and growth mindset. But now most people you will see them between 11 to 20. This is the gray area I was talking about. And this is your thoughts and your mindset actually might be holding you back. Maybe maybe you have certain things you act as within the growth mindset, but also there are other parts in your life or other aspects. No, it is not working. So this is the gray area I was talking about. Now, if you score between 21 to 25, then your negative thoughts really bring you down, and this is fixed mindset. Now, this gray area, it's as I said, it's something in between. Now, what help us? There are, well, again, this is my understanding. You can correct me. What helping me to not to slip back to fixed mindset or negative mindset is, first, I watch out what I say to myself. Watch out my words. Again, I choose what I listen to. I choose what people I let them in my life. I choose a mentor, and this mentor can be a member of family, can be close friends, it can be a professional coach or mentor. And especially now in social media, you can approach people that is with high experience, and you can ask them a question. It's not difficult. It's available. Okay, so and I am very conscious about what I let in my area, in my space. So definitely I want somebody or people who respectful, even if they are not able to see my vision, but at least they give me constructive feedback, give me some kind of encouragement. When I'm doing something, when I'm off rail, or when I go when I do something in doubt of myself, at least they pick me up, uplifting people. So positive people. Again, I come back to, because it's so the environment and the people we are surrounding ourselves with have immense effect on our mindsets, on the way we think. And obviously, yes, we all know that the TV, the schools, the society, all this has an effect in how we think or pursue or on our mindset. But personally, those things helps me not to slip back to the old habits. And as Paula said, again, knowing myself, the more I know myself and I close myself, that's it. No, I don't really care what other people project me or see me from outside, because I'm confident. I know where I'm going. I know what I like. What is my passion? I know this. It is my journey. It's a life journey. So yes, this is really from my perspective, from my own experience and how I see it, and how I prevent myself to slip back to the old things. So I hope that clear and help.
No, definitely, it's some really great tips in there, Ronak. Especially them having being careful, having that choice. A lot of the stuff you mentioned there comes to that word of choice, and make sure you exercise your choice, and also knowing yourself as well. I think they're definitely two important elements to keep note of when we're to stop ourselves from slipping back into that fixed mindset. A few things I'd like to add from my personal perspective, and it's going to elaborate on kind of what Del was saying too, is the never fall into the trap of forgetting to unlearn. And I'll use a couple of my personal examples here too, is we can make a shift from where we were to where we currently are, and everything we learned worked to get us to where we are today. And what we need to be careful is not to hold on to that information or those ways if we want to take ourselves to that next level, or to get to where we want to be in the next stage in our life. And so one of the examples I use from personal experience is I learned not to read the news because the news was negative. So that at one point in my life was absolutely fantastic to learn to not read the news, because it made me feel more positive, it made me feel more engaged, and it lifted up my life. But now I've learned that actually by understanding the news and like you were saying, Ronak, having choice in the parts of the news that I pick up, limiting what I see, I actually learn a lot more now from reading the news and keeping up to date with what's going on in the world. But I have an exercise of choice of what I take in and what I don't take in. But if I was to stay, so it was a growth mindset that got me into not reading the news and into that positive place. But I was fixed when I kept saying I don't read the news because it's negative. So I had to shift and move. So we've got to constantly go through that process of unlearning what we've learned and relearning something new. And we can easily get into that habit. So I put a quote out on Instagram a couple of weeks ago, or last week. It was a quote from Confucius, and it says, "It's a man that makes truth great, not a truth that makes man great." And one of the biggest concepts that come from that is that no matter what message you hold, no matter what idea you have, people are going to judge you, or their first judgment is going to be on who you are as a person before what it is that you're delivering. And that's kind of the world we live in. And why I want to bring this into this space of growth and fixed mindset is we can tend to find someone that's helped us get from A to B, and we stay stuck on the words or advice of that person. And we can get quite defensive if somebody challenges it, or a new perspective or new opinions come in from what that person said. So we need to not, like you said, Ronak, we choose who we want to listen to. We also want to have that growth mindset to challenge what's being said, no matter who they are. We want to be able to observe, acknowledge, analyze, bring in the parts of information from that person, and also challenge it as well, and not just get attached just because this person is great and all this, not taking everything they say as gospel, and having that ability to I think it's critical thinking is probably the best way to describe it, the information that we receive.
Beautiful.
Being open as well. So I just wanted to add that little bit. It's one of the things I've observed, and I can see on people on the personal growth journey, is just staying fixed to what someone's told them because they've learned and it was useful at that part of their life. But something new is going to come and change that learning to get you to that next stage. And I don't know if anybody's seen it. I also shared another example for me, another eye opener was I shared a video in the community yesterday. It's 3 minutes long on reasons why we should meditate. And you know, we always talk about in personal growth, and I've preached this myself. I've done some lives and meditations on how meditation will help us do this, and we should meditate because it will help us with this. It'll help us get here. And the concept in the 3 minute video was actually there's two reasons why we should meditate. One is to get into the present moment and enjoy the present moment. And if we're actually meditating for any other reason, then we're focused on the future, not on the present. If our intention to meditate um, is to make ourselves better or achieve a certain goal or to get a clear understanding, that we're not meditating at all because we're too focused on the future and we're not in the present moment. And the second reason we should meditate is because it's fun and we should enjoy it. So that was an eye opener for me, because I could have been in a fixed mindset, but this is what I've learned. It helps you with this, it helps you with that. But if I let go of all that and take in that information, it was actually quite an eye opener for me to start to realize that actually, yeah, it's about being present and it's about enjoying the moment.
Amazing.
I don't know if anything you want to add to any of that, or anything that's sparked anything in your mind.
Paul, I resonate with what you're saying with the meditation and unlearning. I think I've done that in the past as well. But I've learned now to adjust and be flexible and to open my mind more, rather than having that closed mindset and saying, I just follow this person, for instance. But I've learned through my mistakes that there's a way bigger world out there than just one or two people, but also having people close to you that can support you and uplift you. For me, that's important. Also, what Ronak has said, this little tip, for me, it becomes daily habit at the end of the day. Also, not to listen. I also stopped listening to the news and reading news. What I've done with my parents, I do it daily when they wake up. And I'm trying to get into the mindset to not wake up to it, but rather when they've mellowed into the day with a little bit of a more positive mindset, listen to it later in the day and then take from it what you need to do, but don't dwell on the negative, because then your whole day is going to be negative and everything is going to be negative around you.
I think that element of letting go is so important. So important. That's fantastic. So I just go back to the comments. There's a few stuff come through. So Paula has said, "You just described my old life because it's what I was told I believed. I dumped that out and realized how much I changed." I think this was in response to what you were saying, Ronak, when you were describing the not slipping back into fixed mindset. It's fantastic. And Paul has also said, "If I stayed in that negativity, I would have survived all 14 times I almost died. I value myself and trust me." That's absolutely beautiful, Paula. Paula is very empowering. She's found this self-belief, and like you said, as Paula mentioned there, you did describe, and you were mentioning there, Ronak, some of the stuff that Paula shared with us, and yeah, she's found that real self-belief in herself, and yeah, she's a very empowering person. She really is. She's also said, "I'm very in tune with my body and now my mind. Looking forward to watching myself grow and not staying in my comfort zone." So if there's anything you guys want to say to Paula, there's lots of stuff coming through.
Shall I answer?
Yeah, just if you want to share something with Paula.
Yeah. Well, Paula, this is part of your growing, and you started to enjoy this growing bit because you tuned in. You are becoming, more yourself, and this is the key to for you to basically you start enjoying the life and you start growing. So I like your contribution. I like your inputs in this, and I'm really happy for you as well.
Fantastic. Rosie, so I keep because I read the name. It's Priya. So Priya Rosie is the same person. So she said, interesting, reflecting on what you said about the news. And did you go through that similar journey of kind of shutting yourself off from the news, and then maybe come to that point where you start to just choose what news you want to read, you kind of a deeper, kind of modern shaking. Cool. Okay. I'm going to take that as a yes or a no. So, if you do have any other personal kind of journeys you've been on where you caught yourself in a fixed mindset and moved into a growth mindset, then feel free to share those. You know, the news was one, the meditation was another one for me. So yeah. Frank has said, growth is a journey. Critical thinking is part of the growth mindset. I really resonate with that. You're welcome, Frank. I'm glad that you resonate with that. And I think it's an important point, not to, especially when when someone does help you, and everything we're saying here, so I'm speaking in terms of coaching minds, is never take everything coaching minds says to you for verbatim and you know, as gospel. You know, question what we're saying, come up with your own observations. We're just here to give you our experiences, our perspectives, to help you develop your own perspective and help you grow. So, you know, never ever become attached to a certain support group or community that is helping you grow, and don't take everything they say for gospel. You know, challenge us, think about what it is we're saying, because I always say one shoe never fits all, and you've got to find what works for you at your stage in your growth, at your where you are in life. Ronak, you look like you're going to add something to that, don't know.
Yeah, questioning things. Well, part of my faith is I have to question everything. I have to, because it's unless you know, I'm out of mind, or I have sickness, or basically you know, crazy completely. Like if I have healthy mind, I need to question, I need to use it. And as part of my faith, I've got to question everything. Even when I read Quran, you know, the holy books, when I have to question things and be critical with things. And actually, if my creator asked me to question things, I don't have now the verses, but I question me to use this kind of a blessing, and question my surrounding, question myself, question the words, question everything, and explore as well myself, and explore things around me. It's the questioning is the kind of is a thing that we need to apply every day, and we need to practice actually in daily basis. And the more the quality we put in our question, the higher quality that will be reflected in the quality of our life. The deeper we question things and put a quality in our questioning, the result will be amazing. So yeah, I'm with you. Questioning, critical thinking, it's part of my faith anyway. So, and by the way, it's a part of worshiping for us. There are certain things we do, like when we explore things and we pondering about on something. This is a worshiping itself. So yes, the questioning, critical thinking, it's required, and it's a way to change our life, hopefully for the best, especially if we apply quality questions.
Definitely, and I think just going on what you said there, I'm starting to think of the other perspective now, and you know, the people that you question. And for me, I love to be questioned. If someone asks me a question that changes my perspective or gets me to think in a different way I've not thought, I love that. I don't know why, it makes me feel great. And so I think, you know, even on the other end, if you don't like to be questioned, if you don't like people, you know, trying to give you a different perspective, then that says more about the person that's receiving and the mindset that they're in, rather than the person that's asking those questions. I don't know, Adele and Ronak, if you like to be questioned and have that different perspective.
I like discussions and bring a question and let's all discuss it. That's why the book club for me is also eye-opening and important. But even just doing a post and say, let's discuss that. I would put my perspective, but then I would love other people to share their perspectives, because it's like putting the question out there, and we all learn from that. And I can learn from it. It's not necessary that I'm writing what I'm saying. Bring me your perspective, because then I learn. It's basically exactly what you're saying. Yeah, I love discussion and questioning.
Fantastic. It's amazing. No, and the book club, and just here today, get new perspectives from the both of you and from Paula and from Frank and Priya and Shannon. It's, you know, it's I love learning and sharing experiences, and it's fantastic that we have this and we bring people together and just learn from each other. It's absolutely wonderful. So I'm going to go back to the comments, and then I want to take this a little bit deeper and just explore your thoughts on something I've been reflecting on personally as well, and just see what it brings forward for you guys. So let's have a look at some of these. Priya has said, just question as to regard, when we tell ourselves we are in a growth mindset, we are placing ourselves in that fixed mindset. Does that mean we are neither of the two? So I want to stop here because I think this is a brilliant question, and this is exactly where I want to go next. So I'll pitch this in a way. So we'll keep Priya's question in mind. Does that mean we're neither of the two? So that is a great reflection, Priya, because the question I've been asking myself is, we're looking at fixed and growth mindset, but there must be a mindset behind that that is helping us understand which of the mindsets we're in. Or are we just no mindset at all? So this is just some of the reflections I've been having. So I don't know what your thoughts are, Adele and Ronak, on, you know, that maybe that third mindset, or actually just no such thing as growth and fixed mindset. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Well, I would say, if I can refer to the grey area Ronak was referring to, I think that's your grey area. You could be between the two. I don't think at all the time you're either in a growth or a fixed. Sometimes you'll be in a fixed and a growth at the same time, but in different circumstances. You could be in a growth mindset in your personal development, but you could be in a fixed mindset with your finances. And to me, it comes to the grey area Ronak has mentioned. I don't know if she can maybe elaborate a bit more on that.
Yeah, most people, they are in this grey area, by the way. Most people, they found themselves, every day we are challenged with many things on daily basis. And decision we are taking, or the way we are basically approaching certain things, it varies. Sometimes it puts us in a positive mindset, and some things we find ourselves, oh, if we are conscious about it. If we are not conscious, that's it. We are fixed mindset, and so most people, you will see them actually. We are in a gray area, and part of our learning every day we are learning, and as we learn, we fix what we learned, whether knowledge. That's why I said I try my best not to say fixed mindset. I say negative mindset, because actually we need to how to say, fix or put whatever we learned in place, and make sure we are not stepping back to old habits or old things, and whatever we learned, whether knowledge or new good habits, we put it in a place. So yeah, the term I have a problem with the terminology. So yeah, I don't know. Priya, you are absolutely right. It's fine. It's normal. It's natural to feel this way, because most of people actually, they are in a gray area.
So taking that grey area aside, what I find ironic about fixed and growth mindset concept and terminology is, we've talked about, if you tell yourself you're in a growth mindset, then technically you're putting yourself in a fixed mindset because you're limiting your mindset, your growth. But on the other end, if you tell yourself you're in a fixed mindset, then you're automatically entering growth mindset. because you've acknowledged and come to the awareness that it's fixed, and you kind of ironically go into a growth mindset. So there's a lot of awareness and understanding there, but I think, Ron, it's the terminology. We can get caught into two loops, with fixed and growth. And like you said, Adele, there's areas of life we can be fixed in, there's areas of life we can have growth in, but there must be a different mindset that, for me, and this is my personal perspective, that sits behind growth and fixed, whether it's positive, negative, or I like to call it, for my own terminology, a flow mindset. So if you can get past and you can get to that point where you can analyze and understand where you're fixed and where you're in growth, then you're more in a flow, because you kind of, you need one without the other. You can't have a growth mindset without a fixed mindset, because they exist because of each other. So it kind of acts like a pendulum for me. You go into that flow, you're fixed to growth, and that's how you move forward in life. So for me, when I was reflecting on that, it's actually there's got to be something behind those for me to be able to analyze this as growth and fixed. There has to be something else. And I don't know what your thoughts are, what you call that, but for me, I like to just say I'm in flow.
I like your description by saying flow mindset. Have you ever, Adele and Paul, have you ever opened a book after breakfast, and soon later you found out actually that the room is getting darker, or you had a conversation, whether a topic that you curious about it, or you having a conversation with someone that you adore and love, and a minute that it's supposed to be, it seems a few minutes, it turns out many hours. You lose the kind of concept, a track of time. Have you ever had this kind of
A lot, always.
Situation?
Always, yeah.
You see, those moments, those flow mindset, when you are in flow moments, those are actually so precious, because it teaches us a lot about ourselves. Again, we go back to Paula, and what we started earlier about, the more we go closer and the more we explore ourselves, the more actually we are moving towards the growth, moving towards expanding, moving towards the truth, or the positive mindset. So again, this moment of flow, I don't know, it is really precious. It's good to kind of pay attention to it, and you describe it as you going between there and there. But when we know, oh, actually, when I had this conversation, I didn't feel the time. Now I started questioning myself. Is it because the person? So is it the person who gave me that sensation, or I lost the track of time, or because I'm curious about the subject itself? So questioning, now when we question these things, I will know more about myself. Where am I fitting? So, okay, this is part of how the course I designed, how to be creative. There is a set of a question: how you discover yourself, how you know about yourself. Am I? Do I fit more in a community thing to work, or am I fit in a creativity work, or am I? What is basically discovering yourself? So you need to asking your question when you are in that flow. You said the flow mindset. So yeah, I just remembered this. I hope that will help. Questioning when you are in that moment, question yourself, because it's really this is where when we learn about ourselves. Okay, teach us a lot about ourselves, about our passion, but we need to apply the right questions and explore ourselves more.
Yeah, I think that is very important. Sorry, go Dal. You go.
No, I just wanted to add, for me, when I'm in that state is when I can completely concentrate. Is that flow of concentration, there's no distractions. you get clarity, and that's where you feel happy. To me, that's that flow, and as Ronak says, that's where you get to know yourself and understand yourself better, is when you're in that state of flow. That's just basically what I wanted to add. It is that sense where you are at, where you're happy, you are content, you don't see obstacles, but you get clarity on what you want and where you want to go.
Beautiful.
I definitely agree with that, Adele. It's definitely that space where you get to know yourself better and more in depth, and that's when I feel I'm most in focus or concentration, if we want to say that. But yeah, it's kind of everything else is a bit of a blur. Time just passes through, and you do get so much growth from that, I feel. And I think going back to what you were saying, Ron, I think one of the important points you mentioned there was it's asking the right questions. It's so important that it's the right questions that we ask. And you mentioned earlier, the deeper the questions, the more we can explore and the more we can learn about ourselves and everything around us. That's fantastic. There's some great discussion, some great points coming out here. It's fantastic.
You remind me of something when you said fluctuating, like going between, flow between the two mindsets. This is, again, I go to the same course when I was teaching the kids about our brain, how it is so powerful, and I was teaching them about how to adapt actually growth mindset. And if you imagine neurons, our brain is has a plasticity. It's very it can grow. It's like a muscle. We can grow it, and each neuron, each cell in our brain, imagine as two light bulbs. Okay, and if we want to learn something new, we go from one. We try to connect things. When we learn new things or new habits, we try to connect them. But the first time, it feels like, we are walking in raven, or they call it raven. It's like a new, like a deep valley or narrow valley. So it is hard. It needs a lot of energy from us. It needs a lot of we need to put really effort to go, because it, as you described it, it's like going like that. But the more we do it, becomes more straight. It builds like a bridge, becomes easy. More of connections. The more we learn, the more new things we adapt, the stronger it becomes, more stronger bridges between things. And that's how we actually growing from failures, from mistakes, from many, many things. That's how we actually adapt a strong mentality, strong growth mindset. And also I put it in the same thing after I described the power of the brain and how I need to explain this because maybe that will help so many people. You can help your kids or your other individual or yourself by just trying to visualize this. If we don't do it so often, the bridge will be weak. It's very easy with time, it will break. And again, we go to the old habits. So it's very important to, instead of walking in this valley or raven, we build a strong connection between these two cells in our brain. Also, I do a drawing. I like to draw a lot when I explain the growth mindset or positive mindset. If you, for example, have iceberg, if we draw an iceberg, the things that we see is a small thing we can see from the top, but what we don't see is a lot, isn't it? So imagine if we have a goal, or we set ourselves a goal, and you see people kind of climbing. I just want you to visualize. It's not possible to. It's not easy to climb an iceberg, but imagine you're going up towards this your goal. Okay, that's when people start to see you from the top. But actually, before you reach that state, you do a lot of things behind the scene, whether practice, failures, especially failures. And I'm going to emphasize on failures because a lot to do with the growth mindset. What holds them back and make them slip back to the old habits is the fear of failure. So if you work on because if you understand or if you think that actually failure it's a way of growth, it helps us to grow and help our brain actually to grow. Now, the more whether it is as I said the things that in the iceberg, that the things that we don't see in the dark, failure, despair, hard work, practice, you name it. And once you are becoming very good at what you're doing, really, really good at what you're doing, after all that, then people start to see you climbing at that, from that bit, the iceberg. Even if I have, now as a family, we have the same vision. Okay, I have Adele and Paul vision to spread positivity, goodness, but to climb and reach the high thing, your route is different than me, even though we are actually climbing the same thing. Okay, even though we are wearing hiking shoes, wearing helmets, wearing we're using a rope, but actually your route is different than mine. But we're having the same vision. We are going together. We are using the same iceberg. I don't know if this is all to do with the mindset and how we set our mindset. So it's not also it's not about like fighting or how to say it. Yeah, it's how we think about our goals and how we think about the whole thing. It's just, I don't know, when you explain, going back from there to there, I immediately triggered in my head that thing is how actually our brain works and how new habits we put it in place and how we connect things. So we need to work more and be persevere and persistent in what we're doing. That's part of positive and growth mindset. Sorry, I'm making it too long.
No, it's good. Sorry, you go, Del.
No, I just wanted to say the way she explains it, it's not long. It's just for us to understand it properly, the way she's done it, and it makes complete sense what she's saying.
Okay, that's good. I thought I lost you here. It's too long. But anyway, it's part of
love
learning.
The way...
It's part of learning.
No, and I love the way you explain.
Sorry, Paul. It comes back to what you were saying. You get lost in time, but you don't realize it. That's what you've just done.
Okay. Yes.
And I love the way you put everything across, Rona, because you always leave some visualization, the iceberg analogy and the connecting of the light bulbs and things. You explain things in a very good way that helps visualize it and get a better understanding. So it's amazing. And you actually bring, so this discussion, we could flow this back and forth, because you brought the analogy and the picture of the tree when you talk about family and having that same vision, but going off on a different routes, different ways. So in the tree analogy, it's a family has the same roots, but they all grow off in their different branches. So you brought that to mind. And I love to learn visually as well and have those pictures and images in my head. So it's fantastic.
Great.
Cool. Okay, is there any final points that you wanted to bring today? And then we'll go, so it's open up for questions. So anybody who wants to ask a question, feel free to ask them now, and I'll start to pull some through. So we've got a question here from Priya. Can we slip into a fixed mindset even after we would have been in a growth mindset? Does anybody want to cover that?
Adele, cover it. I think I did.
Paul, can you just bring the question back up?
Sorry.
I'm not sure what Priya means. Is it within the same area that you are in? If you like, for instance, doing a course or doing learning in your personal development, can you slip back? if you start asking, for me, if I start asking myself the wrong questions, and if I start talking negative back to myself and giving me that negative influence, you can definitely slip back. I'm not sure if that is exactly what Priya's meaning about slipping back, but for me, if I'm just going to drop the ball in what I'm busy doing, I can slip back into that fixed mindset very quickly. If I lose my confidence, if I stop building my confidence, I will immediately slip back. If I skip a few days in my daily habits, I'll slip back into a fixed mindset. Priya, I hope that answers your question. I don't know if Ronak maybe can go on that.
Yes, it is actually easy to slip into fixed mindset, because fixed mindset is a way of it's an easy. We don't need to put on energy. We don't need to put effort. It's a lot easier. It's our habits. Our we feel secure in our fixed mindset. Again, fixed mindset. It's a belief that is accumulation of many things for many years, whether from school, upbringing, family, what we read. That's why it's important when we are in a growth mindset. When we start to change to a better habit, it's very important to be surrounded by people who help us, because sometimes it's easier to go to bad habit. I wanted to lose weight, okay, but just an example. I want to lose weight. It's very easy, okay. Maybe the first week, okay, I do exercise, I eat healthily, blah, blah. And then after 1 week, I slip to old bad habit of who cares? I'm not going to do my today exercise or whatever. Any example, or I'm not good enough to do certain things, or I say to myself, oh, I'm not creative, or I say to myself, well, I'm not a math person, I am not a naturally athlete. All these words, we say it, we live it, it's becoming normal, but actually it's not. This is a fixed mindset. It's easy way out. So that's why when we adapt something new and we decide consciously, we decide that I'm going to adapt the growth mindset. It's going to be tough, but I'm going to help myself. And I did mention personally what I'm doing to kind of try my best to be in the growth mindset. I hope that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add something there. You can have something that triggered you from past experiences, or maybe something in present that triggered you to slip back into that fixed mindset. That is why it's important to have people around you that can support and uplift you, that you can open up to, that can support you, to get you back into that growth mindset. And also self-reflection in that. When that happens, it happened to me a few weeks ago that I just slipped and something went and it triggered me, and I went and I reflected on it, and I pulled myself out from it. I had a discussion, I think Paula briefly mentioned something to you, and I pulled myself back from that, slipping back to that fixed mindset and going to my growth mindset. If it makes sense what I'm saying.
No, it does. The triggers can definitely kind of put us into that fixed mindset. Because one of the things that I'm conscious of, and this is my perspective, is I believe we can fall into a fixed mindset at any time of any day. And the way I see fixed mindset is when we're believing any statement that we're telling ourselves that limits our potential in any area, any aspect of our life. So anything that we're actually taking and absorbing that we believe is to be true, that limits what we can actually achieve or do or progress, then for me, you're entering into that fixed mindset at that point. But the moment you choose to let it go and not believe it, you're back into that flow and that growth mindset. So we can do anything if we put our minds to it. We can achieve anything. It's not easy, but it's the growth mindset that's going to get us there. Fantastic. And those great answers from both of you. Thank you for sharing your wisdom again. So lots of stuff being shared here. I'm going to see if I can find some questions from all this. So another question from Priya here. So what tips would you share with someone who might have that shift in mindset? Is there any quick tips you'd like to share? We covered a lot today, but is there any kind of quick 1-2 tips you'd give to someone today?
Paul, I would say, first of all, reflect. Reflect and meditate, because that's where your clarity is going to come from. That's just one quick tip. And then also speak to someone. If you feel like you're really stuck or something really happened, reach out to someone close to you that you know will uplift you. And talk about it. Be open about it. Say, listen, guys, or listen, I need help. I'm stuck. How can I get out of it? What tips can you give me? Ask for help. That is the important thing. Sometimes we are not too fearful, but too ashamed to ask for help. And what I've learned by myself is, if you really need help, ask, because otherwise you're going to slip back and back and back. Get up and ask for help, ask for assistance. That is just one quick tip for me.
Can I add one thing? We did mention it before, but with prayer, you know, when we want to shift in mindset, the first thing is be conscious about words, what we are actually saying. It helps a lot. And there are things we think it's positive and it helps, but in fact, it's not. I'll give example to make it clear. I always tell my daughter, you are smart. She's very smart. She's really smart. I tell her, you are smart. She's lazy, but she is extremely smart. And after a while, after I started searching about the growth mindset, what words we are using, in fact, saying smart, even though it's perceived as a positive thing, but actually it's categorized as a fixed, I'm praising a fixed mindset in my children. So I started, instead of saying you are smart, I start to say, praise the effort that she's putting in the work. So sometimes knowing what we say, even though it's perceived positive, but we need to be conscious about what we say to others, what we say to, again, to ourselves. Yeah, it's just, and I agree with Adele about other things, you know, if we need help, we approach the right people. It's important, we need to be selective and conscious who we approach.
Yeah, that's very important.
That's fantastic. Some great answers there. One recommendation from me would be to read a book called The Energy Bus by John Gordon. So it's quite a short book. It's very simple to read. It's not deep at all, but it really is a good way of looking at fixed and growth mindset and kind of growing. So just for a quick cover of the story, it's about a guy whose life is starting to just fall apart. He's at a risk of getting a divorce and losing his family. He's at a risk of losing his job. And he's having a really bad day. His car is broken down, so he has to put his car in the garage. And then for 10 days, he has to get the bus to work. And on there, he meets the bus driver who is filled with his wisdom. And every day he gets the bus, he starts to talk about the energy bus. She's really happy. And she changes him from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. And there's a beautiful outcome at the end. So it kind of takes you on that nice journey. If you like a story and you want to learn a bit about fixed and growth mindsets, it's a great book and it's very short. So I'd recommend that. That'd be my tip, is to read that book, because you get lots of tips in there. I'll type this in here. So it's called The Energy Bus. Sorry, I've just seen that Shannon's asked what it was called. The Energy Bus by John Gordon, I believe.
Energy.
But it's a really nice story. It's not deep at all. It's just a nice book to read, and it's got some good tips in there. It talks about energy vampires and things as well. So going on what Adele and Ronak were talking about being careful about the people you surround and who you bring on board to your visions and your goals and whatever it is you're trying to achieve in life. Cool. Okay, let's see if there's some more questions. There's lots of conversation going between everybody, which is fantastic. I just want to bring it to a bit of close. You do have your questions. Please ask your questions now. It's great to see you guys engaging with each other. It's amazing. Priya has said, thank you so much for sharing, both of you. So thank you for your tips on the growth and fixed mindset. It's amazing. And Shannon's just raised this, go back to what you're saying, Ronak. So interesting, being smart stopped me from studying when I was young. My effort was zero. So that's it was really resonating with what you're saying there, Ronak. It's fantastic. Okay, great. So here is one question from Shannon, is where were you all when I was younger? Lol.
Oh.
Fantastic.
There's
And
always
then
be a
Frank
chance because, yeah, sorry. There's always be a chance to teach other generation. Yeah.
And this is the beauty of technology. We can do this now, 10, 12, 15 years ago, we couldn't connect with people online. We were stuck in the environments we were in, and it was harder to get out of those physical environments. But now, it's the beauty of technology. Yeah. So Frank here has said, instead of wishing somebody good luck, I try to say, I wish you good effort. I know it's awkward, but I still try. I love that, Frank. I really, really love that. You can see everyone smiling there as well. Fantastic. Cool. Okay, so is there any final points you'd like to leave with the guys? The questions of, I don't think there's any more questions coming through. Any final tip, any final point you want to leave with everybody?
All I would say is just to be aware. It's just something small that we often neglect. We just steamroll or jump on the bandwagon with everyone else, but be aware of yourself, your feelings, and go within. It's similar to what Paula said. She really discovered herself and her growth, and to me that's a valid point, and it's crucial. To go within, be aware, and reflect.
I love that. I love that. Ronak, any last point from you? Any tip you want to leave everyone today?
Discover your beauty and discover how we make beauty. So how we see beauty and how we make beauty. And by being in that vibe and being in and living this is the way that actually we grow beautifully. It's be conscious about, again, be conscious about our thought, about the word we are speaking. Just be conscious about all this, and I hope all will grow gracefully, beautifully, and if they need help, as Adele said, it's good to basically seek the right people. That's what growth. The growth. We're all here to grow and learn. So on daily basis, if we ask I'll leave with one thing, a question. I leave you with a question. Every morning, you say, what I learned today, what I'm going to add from this to this life. So that will help, hopefully. And thank you very much for everybody, for the participation, for your questions, for your interactions. Thank you very much for your presence. I certainly learned a lot from the feedback, from everything. So thank you.
I'm just writing your questions down there, Ronak, so people have them. So what did I learn today and what do I want to contribute to life?
Yeah.
Cool, so that's in the comments box there. No, that's fantastic. So you've got Adele, you've got the questions from Ronak, you've got Adele, understanding and awareness, and I just want to leave you with a bit of reassurance. So it doesn't matter if you're more in a fixed mindset, if you're more in a growth mindset, what is important is that you're starting to understand what they both are. You're already making major progress by just having that understanding of what fixed and growth mindset are, and starting to identify areas that is fixed and that is growth. So you're doing a fantastic job, and we're all here, as Ronak said, to grow together, to learn together. And if you do have any questions, you can reach out to any one of the three of us, and we'll be happy to answer it. So thank you for being here. Thank you, Adele and Ronak, for your wisdom, your perspectives, your analogies, and just your presence and your energy. It's been absolutely fantastic. And thank you to everybody who's tuned in and for your engagement. You know, you make these sessions, so it's wonderful to have you all here, and for you sharing your wisdom and your perspectives too. It's been a great session. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. And if I could just add, for those watching the replay, thank you for taking the time and the effort to watch the replay and for your self-development and growth.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys.